fine widow, I live in a spot in Dublin, they call it the Coombe. Me shops and me stalls are laid out on the street, and me...
This is Wolftown Street. It used to be called Stafford Street because Stafford was the fella who, with Humphrey Jervis, laid out these streets in the 17th century. This was number 44, the birthplace of Theobald Wolftown, the founder of the Society of United Irishmen and the man who went down in history as the father of Irish republicanism. Of course, he was murdered in 1798 in the Provost prison in Arbour Hill. He was baptised across the road in St. Mary's Church. He was the secretary of the Catholic Committee, what was known as the Back Lane Parliament. And of course, Payne's right of man led them forward to the formation of the United Irishmen. Opposite St. Mary's Church is the old Mero picture house. Do you know, we got more education here in the Mero than some of the students did in Trinity College. I'm first in the queue for the Mero. Quit pushing, man.
No, I'm not pushing.
That's all right. I have me Forbans here. There's me orange. There's me cigarette, and there's me butt. The butt's for the following upper, and the cigarette, after you already, the cigarette's for the big picture. Oh, they're open, you're right. That was a powerful picture. The Lone Ranger and all the Indians. But I think Flash Gordon is dead. Emperor Ming got him, shoved him over the cliff. But the Lone Ranger was powerful, shooting all the Indians. Bye-bye, bye-bye, bye. Before this building became the Mero, it was Patrick Beakey's. He was a cabinet maker, an upholsterer, an auctioneer, a valuer, and an undertaker. Just imagine, he could make the furniture for you. He could make your bed and your Chesterfield suite and your china cabinets and your tables and chairs. And then when you die, he could bury you. And then he could value your property and sell your house. Do you know what? We're dibbles for tradition in Dublin. Here I am back at the Halfpenny Bridge on a Sunday morning where I've been coming for the past 40 years.
Here, gentlemen out the back there. Here. Here, come in here, I'll give you a kiss a yard long and a foot wide. Here.
Give us one.
Right, she will take care of you on me left side now in 1 second. Here.
Paddy and Christina Rice are a great Dublin husband and wife team.
I would marry Hector if half the world were dead. Hey, gentlemen, I'm 83 years of age. I'm not kidding.
Oh, you wouldn't indeed.
That old straw hat suits Paddy Slattery. Paddy's a Limerick man, but he went to school in Cork with Frank O'Connor.
The glasses? The glasses are 150, son. Anybody else want to pass them in? Needles galore.
When your sweetheart or your girlfriend gets one of these writing pads, she gets writing pads that she can write the whole story of her life on. There's a different flower in every one. Now you have the envelope. Now, they're all made of rice paper. That's stuff that you can't get today.
Adam. Adam.
Beautiful animal.
Thank you.
Here, give us one there.
One there. They are £1.50 for one ferret. Beautiful glasses and a beautiful frame and first quality goods in all cases. I vet everything I sell to make sure that you're not had a caution. If you're not more than satisfied, you can bring those back to me any time in the next month and I'll give you your money back. Isn't that fair? And I'll be delighted to see you. Excuse me for talking like that, of course. You have to get some kind of a tonic to retire businessman. Okay.
Come on, somebody give me an offer for it before I go. Somebody give me 80 quid. Huh? Somebody got £75 in the pocket, that's the lowest I'll go. 75 quid and then you can have it. 14 inch. Anybody want it?
No money on it today.
No?
Oh, no. Next week, if you hold it for me.
Huh?
We'll be here next week.
Oh, it'll be gone. It'll be gone tomorrow. George! Yeah.
My good friend Joe Fitzpatrick drawing a pretty Limerick girl. Joe is a survivor of the Niemba ambush and Dublin's Van Gogh.
Beautiful car pump with pressure gauge, comes out of stock again, around 15 or 16 quid. I'll take a silly, ridiculous price again for it. Not 10, not even 5. Hey, not even 4. The first couple of handstakes, the last 3 or 4 of them out of the way, he'll give me 3.50 for it. At 3.5 quid. Anyone make use of it at 3.50? At 3.50, anyone?
Not only is Hector Gray a musician, he's a household word in Dublin, but he's nearly as well known as the Halfpenny Bridge.
Now the next item we have here, here's a little job down here really outstanding. It's a folding scissors. Now a small one and as a matter of fact, as good as you'll get. My nails are actually worn away scratching for a living, but I can cut them off now. I'll tell you what I'll do if anybody wants one. Good value for £1. Look at that, fold them up. The one thing you've got to do is just make sure you put one in the trash.
Here, £1.50. You know what that mouth organ is worth? That mouth organ is worth £4 or £5 now. And they call mouth organs for sixpence.
Yeah,
Sixpence.
No, feel the weight of them. I'm not joking, feel the weight of them. Feel. 1.5 quid before I go.
Made for the export market, comes out of stock around 39 pence a bar. Here, my price laid out of the way, a silly, bloody, ridiculous price. Here, 50 pence for the 4. Anyone make use of that at 50 pence? At 50 pence? Anyone make use of that at 50p?
Huh? Come on, you have a pair there. And then we're going. Come on, 1.5 quid. Huh? Yeah. Give me a pound.
How much is the doggy in the window?
I tell you.
Everybody, but give that bit of paper somewhere.
Any more?
Yeah. Because I want them now because they're only a pound. Isn't that right?
Fella says it won't spell. It doesn't spell, it only supposed to write. Here, change that with the gentleman. Anyone else here? You'll have one, sir. They'll give you the package and all free of charge. Here. Is there anyone else in with the last one? There's a cow, is there? Pick that up. Is there anyone else in with the last one before I'm done? The last one is the lucky one. It's bound to work. A bloody sacrifice. Here, the last couple of lots we sell off here. Give us a bag for these, Chrissy.
I'll give you a bag for that.
Here for these. 1, 2. I'm on a straight. Here, my price, £1 for the lot. Anyone make use of the £1? Gentlemen, they charge him £1. Is there anyone else here? Give us a bag up there. 2, 3. Charge the gentleman £1. Here. Is there anyone else there?
How many years I had it?
Yeah, you're here now a long time.
I'm 53 years coming in the metal.
53 years, you should get a plaque.
Oh, they should build a big, something up to the sky.
Well, years ago when this was Essex Bridge, Pussy Four Corners was played by Zosimus. He used to stand here. On the far side, Anastasia, Dirty Dick McGrane's wife. On Essex Bridge, she cleared her throat. 6 a penny was her note. That's where she stood. Down here at the corner stood Fat Mary, the prima donna of the Dublin streets, and over the far side, Stoney pockets. Poor old Stoney was afraid his head would fly off. He put stones in one pocket to keep him up straight and to stop his head from spinning away. Sosimus, Michael Morden, the blind ballad singer or reciter. Well, there was nothing wrong with his ears. When he couldn't hear the jingle of the coins, he'd say, wait, Stoney, Stoney, is there a crowd around me? Are they all gone? Where are they gone? And of course, then he'd ask to be taken up to O'Connor's of Francis Street, where he got his whiskey droppings. This was all the whiskey that spilled while it was being poured out by the shaky hands, bartenders, and that'd all go into a train and be kept for Zotimus. But this bridge was Essex Bridge. Then, of course, when the new bridge was built, they called it Grattan Bridge. He also stood up in Smithfield and around Patrick Street and the markets and anywhere that there was a crowd. But here, he had two ways of the crowd. He had the crowd going to the Capel Street music halls, and he had the other crowd, the gentry, of course, going up to Dublin Castle. Of course, Grattan Bridge was designed by Bindon Stoney, but the old Essex Bridge was rebuilt and redesigned by George Semple. George's grandfather said to him one day, look, son, the money is in the water. Learn how to build underwater. And George only went to school for about 12 weeks, went out to the Comac and the Tolka and the Paddle and started messing around underwater. And he got the contract of building this bridge. And you know how he built it? From a French book. He couldn't understand a word of French, but he read the drawings at the back of the book by a Frenchman who had written a book on the designs of Westminster Bridge. When Bindon Stoney was building this bridge, George Semple's foundations were so good, the present bridge was built on the old foundations. Do you remember Barney Connaughton, the Point Duty man that stood there in Capel Street Bridge for, 40 years ago? Tall as a rush, a little Edel Flynn Ronnie, and the fingers going, flashing cars and buses and everything flying in all directions. Do you see those traffic lights? Well, Barney would leave them haymaking. About 40 years ago, a story went around Dublin that the chief of police in New York came over to Capel Street Bridge. He stood here, watching Barney. After about 10 minutes, he went out to see Barney. You're the fastest in the world. We want you for Times Square. Says Barney, looking down at him, I don't think I could go. Why not, says the chief of police. Says Barney, I kind of like the buildings around Capel Street Bridge. Well, the granite and red brick corner of the Bank of Ireland, that was the Bank of Ireland's first branch on the north side. And then, of course, my memories of that building is the top windows there. The Institute of Ballroom Dancing. Frank Sherwin, Morrissini Whelan, Bertha Dixon, learning how to do the tango and the military two-step and the quick foxtrot and the slow waltz and all the dances that we learned. That used to be Killy Kelly's. And Robert Emmett took that